When I was 19, I loved walking on that beach, especially when I needed alone time. Something that was very much on my mind the previous year and coming to a head was, what's my life about? Yes, I want to be a teacher. That seems like a great way to make a living, but what's my life really about? And it really came to a head one night. I walked for hours and hours on that beach, just back and forth, looking at the sea, looking at me, and asking God, what am I really centrally to do? And the message became clear as crystal that my life was to be about social change.
I'm thinking about the climate crisis, and there's a reason for standing right here, because this bank is, believe it or not, financing the development of fossil fuels. It's one thing to do something that you think might be a harm in 200 years, but to do something that's harming us right now, we don't even have to wait to find out from the scientists, is this a problem? They are creating the problem right now by financing the problem.
What didn't make my family unique? My dad is gay. My mom is from Norway, so she's an immigrant. My parents adopted my brother and sister. They're African American. My parents are white. I was the big surprise that showed up. And we lived in a collective household, 11 people in one house, an intentionally feminist community. We're Quakers. There were just a lot of ways that almost every issue of America or American families got expressed in our family.
I've been on a grandparents' walk for climate justice. We're here at Independence Hall because so many good things started here, as well as some things that are problematic. We're having to create a new country, really.
No more fossil fuels!
I've made grievous errors in my life. I'm a mixed bag like anybody else, and like my country is. So I'd like to give my country the complicated view that I give myself, at the same time as acknowledging that we fall short.
My dad was the one that was always out of gallivanting around the world doing something. But it was like, I always knew that I felt like he was fighting for right, whatever right is.
You're not wanting them to see you as, oh, we're activists. We've seen activists. You're wanting to convey, we're grandparents. All this is about image convey. Yeah. And the rocking chairs really support you.
George knows what he's doing. He knows how to work with rebels. And I was a rebel, and I was ready to burn it to the ground. It's not enough to just be right or wrong, or to be angry or not. You have to actually convince other people to join you in resisting. And it was the first time in my entire life that any teacher or educator had ever taught me how to be a better rebel.
My dad is such a good Quaker. He's such a good Quaker. What does it mean to be a good Quaker, right? It's really about the what is my purpose? What am I here to do? And how do I do that with integrity? And how do I do it leaning on spirit? So it's not about an ego trip. It's not about how do I get on the front page? It's really about what is spirit calling on me to do?
The yacht Phoenix, a self-ordained mercy ship manned by a crew of determined American pacifists. Its mission, to bring medical supplies to the North Vietnamese port of Hai Phong, despite Red Cross warnings and without State Department clearance.
A sailboat is also a romantic thing, and the fact that it was 8 people against the might of the American Empire. There was something very, very Robin Hood about it, I think. I found myself led by spirit to offer myself for the next voyage. It would sail from Hong Kong to South Vietnam. This leading to join the voyage was very strong. It felt like God was tapping me on the shoulder.
This is George Lakey, reporting on my little escapade. After Harry went into the water and was picked up by 610, the Navy vessel 610, I jumped into the water and swam over.
The clarity of the summons didn't stop me from thinking about consequences, of course.
There are at least 4 guys in the water after George. Oh boy. They've got him surrounded now.
I'm human. I want to live a long life, and certainly not die in my 20s in an ocean halfway around the world. I thought about young people slain in the civil rights movement and the struggle against apartheid in South Africa and so many other movements where activists surely wanted to die as little as I did. And for that matter, my dad's brother in the Navy during World War II and others in the armed forces of the world who don't make it back alive. I think I'm no one special in that life and death way. All of us have a responsibility to believe in something larger than ourselves, something so important that we're willing to die for it, if that's what it takes. Here I am, 83.
He's lived this incredibly courageous, big life that his parents could never have imagined for him. And I think in some ways the largest impact has been on the number of people he's trained. He's trained thousands of people from around the world who have in turn trained others and led movements and campaigns and been teachers and all of this thing. So it's like, that's a very big boulder in a lake to make a huge, all the ripples that we can't even see.
The value of the ripple effect of training when you're doing it well is that folks stick around in the movement and continue to provide offerings. And they don't look like George Lakey, they don't do trainings like George Lakey, but they certainly would describe themselves as influenced by. And that's what you really want. You don't want mimicry, you want new ways, new styles, folks that have their own lingo and rhythm and rhyme.
The wild card here is the behavior of the police, because if police jump on you over and over and over, there's a point where anybody can crack.
Sir, you need to respect our
We are soldiers in the army. We gotta fight, although we gotta cry. We gotta hold up the freedom banner. We gotta hold it up until we die. It's a great song, isn't it? True marching song.